Hey everybody, so a couple of days ago I went to the really gross, nasty, dirty thrift store out on the outskirts of town here. They don't even have lighting in half the place. You can't see, you need a miner's cap to see anything in there. It is like burrowing into a cave, and hopefully you don't stir up the brown recluse spiders, but there is a giant section of videos at this place and a lot of VHS tapes, and I went through every single one of them. There must have been thousands. I came up with 10 that were worth buying, but luckily they were only 50 cents, and a lot of these were very old, especially this one. This one here, this is Silkwood from 1984 on Embassy Home Entertainment. Directed by Mike Nichols, starring Meryl Streep. Also Cher is in it. Based on a true story about a whistleblower at a nuclear power plant who mysteriously died. And pretty dark tale. Great drama, I guess. I haven't seen it in many years, but I didn't really buy it because of the movie. I bought it because this is an Embassy tape, and those are getting to be collectibles. So it had been at Blockbuster at one point. I tried to get this label off, Blockbuster label, but decided not to because I didn't want to damage the box too much. Anyway, this is a 1984 tape. Pretty early in the game. Embassy, you don't run across Embassies very much anymore. They're very collectible. And this is the early blue logo Embassies, the blue logo at the beginning of the tape instead of the gold one that came later, because they reissued this in 1987 with the gold logo. That's also a pretty old tape. There's the label, and it's got a Blockbuster sticker on it. I'm not going to get the whole thing out. Now, the problem is I rewound this yesterday, and you see that tape leader there on the hub? That snapped clean off when I rewound it, and I had to get into this cassette today to repair it, which was quite an ordeal, but you can see that the tape is back on. So what I'm about to show you is the ordeal I went through, at least some of it, to get that back on there, and also to, well, I don't know, I'm not going to give away the ending. Did I get it repaired properly? Did it play? Well, let's see. That's what this video is all about. Another thing I wanted to show you was this biography of Louise Brooks, the silent movie star, by Barry Paris. This is not a super rare book, but it is kind of hard to find it really cheap. And I found this at Goodwill for $1.59. I've seen it around for years, just never bought it. And it's at the library, and I just thought, I don't need to buy it. But when it became available for $1.59, I'm like, okay, well, I'll get it now, because that is a good deal, and it seems to be in good condition. It's in very good shape. As you can see, there were some pencil markings in here where someone was trying to sell it before. I erased all of that. And I feel like I can probably make a little money on this once I read it, but I do want to read this. These are my very minimal instructions of how to put the tape back in. I drew this because I want to make sure I put the tape on the hubs, or excuse me, the spools or the capstans or whatever correctly. So our first obstacle is going to be this sticker that Blockbuster put on it. See, there's a crease in the middle. I don't know if you can see it, but there's also one on this side. When the tape comes apart, I guess the label too is a problem. So I don't know. Let's see if I can even do this at all. Alright, almost miraculously, there's a little snap piece in the middle of this hub that is almost impossible to get out. I took one of these little screwdrivers and stuck it down in a little hole. I can't turn it over because I've got it in there. I snapped it out without breaking it somehow, and then got the little leader in the middle, and then put my finger in. It's not easy. There's not much room to work with down in there. Pushed it in, took this big screwdriver and shoved that snap piece back in, and it snapped. So the leader is now attached again. This had broken off at the hub. So the problem is all these little pieces came out. Now, I'm watching a video from a guy on YouTube. He shows you how to put all those little pieces back in. So I'm going to try to do that. I'm going to look at his video and try to get this in, and hopefully we got this thing repaired. It was a little bit tough because I did cut the middle of that label. This stupid warning label that Blockbuster put on was really hard to cut, and I actually had not succeeded in cutting it. I thought I had, and then when I tried to pull it apart, it caused all that stuff to come out because there was too much force. But I did get it apart. Now I have this, so let's see how we do. This was the problem. I got these little springs, these metal springs. They all fell off. The green and white thing fell off, and I had to know what poles to put them on, and then the springs wrap around these other things. And the videos on YouTube were so unclear on how to do this properly, but some guy on Reddit had a nice close-up of how you do it. So I was like, thank God, that's what I'm looking for. Like, those repair videos on YouTube are kind of useless. I mean, you get little bits and pieces of what you need to do, and that was helpful, but putting these springs back on, I'll show you what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to, like, kind of like do that, spring back like that. They're, I don't know, I guess they break. Not break, but break like in B-R-A-K-E. So I think we're good, and then this little piece in the middle does that, see? So everything's abutting properly. I'm not mechanically inclined, so something like this is not something I come by easily, but I think I got that. Alright, I've got the spools in the bottom of the housing. It's going to go over this capstan, or whatever you call it, pole, and that's going to go around this pole, and then there's a little flap. It goes between those two. This is the beginning of it. It had rewound to the beginning, so this is where it broke off, right there at that spot, and I've got it reeled up just a little bit, and I hope I can get this back together, but let's see. Okay, so one of the poles that I was supposed to wrap the tape around was on the top of the cassette housing instead of on the bottom, so I'm trying to wrap it around a pole that isn't there, so I had to just kind of hold it out and then push this down and just gently make sure it was on the outside of the pole. It looked like it was, and then I snapped this together. Now all I have to do is put the screws back in and hope for the best. Let's see. Alright, I've screwed all the screws back in. You gotta hit that little thing over there, little button. You can see that the tape is in there, appears to be on there right. So, okay, let's do a little VHS demo play and see how this works. Okay, fingers crossed, it's going into the player. Ooh, well, I was giving myself a 50-50 chance of getting that repaired. This was a different repair than I was used to. I've spliced tapes back together before that broke in the middle and got them in and working, but this one was a bit of a bear because all the little pieces fell out and I had no idea where they went. But I did watch some videos on YouTube, and then I looked at some threads on Reddit on how to do it, and as you saw, I did it. I got it repaired. I mean, it's an old tape. It's in rough shape already. It already has a lot of wear and wear lines on it, as you can see. I don't know if you can see that, but there you see the tape leader that had broken out of that hub spool in there. It just came right out when I rewound it yesterday. It's on there, everything's in properly. It works in rewind, fast forward play, and rewind play modes. We've got an ancient Embassy tape from 1984, the very early days of VHS, at least the first 5 or 6 years anyway, that still works. This was a Blockbuster rental. I did have to slice into it, but it doesn't look too bad. You know, doesn't look too bad. The warning sticker I don't care about so very much. And there you go. I guess that's an unusual VHS demo play for us today here on the Outer Galaxy Lounge channel. I didn't show you all the steps of how to do this because, quite frankly, I thought I wouldn't be able to handle the camera. And I'm not an expert, so me trying to demonstrate something to you that I didn't even know I could do would probably have been silly to assume or presume that I could do in the first place. I hope that sentence hung together. But anyway, so there you go. That's that. Silkwood 1984 Embassy Home Entertainment VHS tape repaired, working, ready for the archive instead of the garbage, which is a great relief. Thank you very much for watching. Well, as I said in the 1983 Canadian film Strange Brew, I'm a genius of electricity, eh?